The battle-hardened gang of veterans is here with another installment, one that will be filled with surprises as well as the passing of the torch element that will include both Stallone and Statham, with the latter being the one to receive it, which should be an interesting thing to see, especially now that we'll have a new villain in the ranks in the form of Iko, who will be there to spoil things. A franchise that featured almost all of the biggest names from the previous generation when the action genre is taken into consideration proved to be the Expendables, led by Sylvester Stallone and includes the likes of Bruce Willis, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, and other action movie stars.
Got the 4 on the left.
Why don't you take the 2 on the right and leave the rest?
You're not that fast anymore.
Oh, here we go.
The only thing fast.
The franchise began back in 2010 with the release of The Expendables and a sequel following only 2 years after the first one, The Expendables 2. Which was an even bigger success than the first one, something that isn't often the case in the movie industry in the 21st century. And just like that, 2 more years and we also got The Expendables 3 that was released in 2014. A movie that probably did not meet the expectations of the world to the fullest, but came very close, with no rumors, no speculations regarding whether there will be or not another sequel.
Welcome to the 21st century. I could do that.
The 4th sequel in the franchise was never in question as it was destined to happen, with the only question being when that would happen. The Expendables 4 has been in the works for quite a while now, with the last entry being almost a decade old. Nevertheless, the important thing now is that the 4th movie has already begun, with the production side of things, and the whole project managed to wrap with filming in October 2021, officially resurrecting the franchise. And before we move forward with what the 4th movie will entail, let's see the variables that occurred for the delay of so many years, and the 2-year time period between sequels being thrown right through the window. As many have said before, both from the crew and the cast, the 3rd movie's not so big of success simply fell on the fact that it got the PG-13 rating instead of the R rating the first movie came with, a detail that upset the fans of the violence and action the movies of the category this movie belongs to, a crucial detail that ultimately damaged the reputation of the franchise, with everything leading up to the poor performance of the movie, both critically and commercially.
Was that the contact?
Follow me, please. People who fight back are killed. Now we have a dying place.
The state in which the franchise got itself into with the whole rating thing was one of the main reasons the franchise decided to pause with anything about additional sequels moving forward, leaving a lot more time for the franchise to learn from its mistakes, everything in order to become an even better version than all of the 3 movies before, which is also why we think the 4th movie will be the best of the bunch. Some even went to say that the break between the 3rd and 4th sequel was done to build anticipation, something the franchise managed to do, especially with the newcomers that will be joining the cast for the 4th movie, but more on that a little bit later. After all the anticipation and some other things taken care of, the last thing the franchise has to do was to align the cast and the story, everything to be done right and not look forced. Of course, the long wait could have put the whole franchise in even bigger trouble, but that wasn't the case with the Expendables, as they're here and will bounce back even harder, and with that in mind, let's see what news we managed to dig up about the upcoming movie. So without any further ado, let's dive right in.
I'm done with prisons. I've lived in a world of death.
So now that we know the filming of The Expendables 4, a homage to the thrill-a-minute action movies of the 1980s and 1990s, is ready to release, when will that be? Well, according to Lionsgate, the latest news we got a couple of months ago said that 2022 will be the year in which we'll get to see the movie, but nothing more specific came through. However, this will surely be true, as there is no space for any further delays to occur, seeing how the franchise has already finished all the most important work. In April 2022, official posters of the movie were released, which was yet another hint toward a release to happen as soon as possible. As for an official footage of sorts, there was a first teaser trailer at CinemaCon, which we think with some luck will be made accessible to the larger public very soon.
Let me do this my way.
Something's wrong.
One of the biggest things about the movie, as with any other movie in the industry, the most important thing about The Expendables 4 will be the casting group, a movie which will come with a couple of new faces. Like the previous 3 movies, Sylvester Stallone will be the one to take the charge as Barney Gross. Then there are Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, and Randy Couture, who'll also be returning as part of Ross's entourage as Lee Christmas, Gunnar Jensen, and Toll Road. However, we should also mention that this will be the last ride for Stallone, who announced that the fourth movie of the franchise will also be the last one for him, with Barney, his character, finally being ready to pass on the torch to someone else for any future installments of the franchise.
No, later.
That's what I thought. He's fine.
Born initially from collaborations between Stallone and screenwriter and producer of the movies David Callahan, the next one in line to lead the way will be Jason Statham, who will supposedly be the one at the center of things moving forward and the leader of the battle-hardened gang he'll have on his hands. As for the fresh new faces we've been talking about so much, the announcements came for yet to be identified roles, with the list of newcomers including the likes of Megan Fox, former boxer and strongman Eddie Hall, rapper Curtis Jackson, better known by stage name 50 Cent, and Andy Garcia from Ocean's 11. The other new additions to the cast also include Shayla Shaw, Tony Jaa, Jacob Scipio, and Levi Tran, who'll all be joined by stuntman, fight choreographer, and martial artist Iko Uwais, with him being cast in the lead villain role for the movie.
Couldn't take the stairs?
Now comes the tricky part. Aside from what Stallone had to say about his character and him ending it on a high note with Barney Ross, minor and major plot details have been kept under wraps, with us being left empty-handed. The brief synopsis we got from the people working on the movie has said what forces Ross and his mercenary gang will square up against: an arms dealer who commands the might of a massive private army, with that arms dealer probably being the before-mentioned Iko Uwais. Unfortunately, this is everything we got for you regarding the plot of the movie, and whatever further details are unveiled, we can all expect something along the lines of what the previous three movies brought to us: a lot of violence, shooting, explosions, dark humor, as well as some of the best one-liners you'll hear in your lifetime. Thus, we should be in for a treat as the action-packed adventure of Ross and his company will bring to us even bigger stakes at hand, ones that will require a lot of teamwork adaptation from the new guys and girls that will have to become part of the team, as well as a sacrifice or two, who knows. All things considered, this will be a movie you would not want to miss, not only because of the familiar faces returning, but the newcomers as well, with all of them forming a group that you would not want to face even in your worst nightmare. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the entire franchise as a whole? Which sequel has been your favorite and why? But also, do you think the fourth will have what it takes to surpass the other previous movies, especially with all the big names joining the franchise just now? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.